Hello, Drive Radio fans. Richard Rush here today with my dad, John Rush, behind the camera. And this is the long review of the 2015 Jaguar F-Type R Coupe. This is I have no words to describe this car, to be honest. It's amazing, tremendous, awesome, whatever you want to say. This car was actually at the Denver Auto Show this past year. They introduced it, and we were like, wow, this car looks great, looks fast. And let me tell you, with 550 horsepower and a V8 underneath the hood, supercharged V8 under the hood, it is fast. So let's take a walk around and we'll show you. You can see the distinct look. This car, as you kind of go, you can see the RM. I know it's a little bit hard when you get to the back. You can see the R emblem right there. This car is fast. It's an amazing machine. You can see it has some very high heavy-duty brakes here. You can see the red calipers. An option on this car is the ceramic brakes, which actually takes 46 pounds off of the car, and it's a $12,000 option. So if you want to save a little bit, if you're taking this car on the track, it is something. I will point this out real quick. We did this in the short review. When you come up, the door handles are nice and level. You just hit the button, and they're going to pop right out. Then you can just open the door. This Jaguar did an amazing job at putting this car together. Some of you are wondering, what is the price on this car? As this car sits, it is a little over $100,000. A base price with the R Coupe, which comes with the V8 550 horsepower, is $99,000. It competes with the likes of a 911 Turbo, a Nissan GTR, a Mercedes AMG, the Audi R8. And for what this car competes with, it is very competitively priced. It is right in that 90, like I said, just under that $100,000 range, which some of you are saying, wow, we're never going to purchase a car like that. Well, to be honest though, in 5 years or so, this car may end up being $80,000, $75,000 to where you can purchase it. And unless you drive this car every day, it's not going to have a ton of miles on it. So as we kind of come around to the back, and we're trying to kind of keep the wind a little bit at bay just because the Colorado winter, but we're going to go for a drive here in a second. Hopefully show you how it is. One thing we will try and show you here in a second is the exhaust, the active exhaust. There's a cool little button on the inside that Jaguar has put, which allows you to activate the exhaust, I like to say. And what it does is it opens up a little flap, and instead of having a nice quiet ride, man, this thing purrs. And what's funny is there was a lot of stuff going around. I've read several different pieces of information. It sounds like a Jaguar. If you can imagine what a purr of a Jaguar would sound like if you were sitting right next to it, when you open up this car, it sounds exactly like that. So with that being said, let's take a drive. We'll come back, we'll do the interior portion, and we'll get on out here. Stay tuned. We'll turn them on, of course, for the driving portion, and we'll get out here. And I will show you the steering wheel in the actual system. The gauges are just very well put together. The top speed of this car, if you could ever find a road to put it on, is 186 miles per hour. And some people are like, wow, 186? Why 186? The reason is because when you get over that, you have to start putting heavier duty tires on the car. And with the heavier duty tires, causes more weight, more expense, so Jaguar just decided not to. So with that, we'll kind of get into it. We're sorry for the camera angles. It is a two-seater car. It's not a four-seater. So we kind of get driving here, and once again, it's hard for us to show, but we will show you this. For a car that is as heavily performance-based as this car is, it has a tremendous ride quality. It's not going to be as smooth as a BMW 7 Series, for example, or any of those, but it's not meant to be. This is a two-seater car that's meant to have fun, to go out, if you have the money, take it on a racetrack, just enjoy it. But I mean, we're even going to go over a pothole here in a second, and we're in just a normal mode. As you can see, it's not tremendously rough. It's not overly smooth, but it's also not so rough as you go down the road. And I will do this real quick. We are in dynamic mode right now. I just kind of switched this over. So we're in the dynamic mode, and you can feel, or it's hard for you to see, but you can see with the camera, it's just not much of a difference between the dynamic mode and the actual normal mode. It's just, it is what it is. But we'll kind of get down the way here. I'll shift it into neutral real quick and give it a little sound to where you guys can actually hear what it sounds like when you get on this car. And then actually, when the RPMs are up and you're going down a hill and it has that nice back crackle, almost a backfiring sound, man, it is, we keep saying it, but it is hard to describe how it sounds. It's just a great automobile, finely tuned. And we have a little bit of a dry stretch here. We'll kind of start from the stop here and show you what it sounds like. So that's it. So we were up to we're getting up there pretty fast. This car is rated, and some reviews have rated it at 3.5 seconds to 0 to 60. Some have been at 4. In other words, it's fast. I don't know how else to say it besides it is fast. We wish we could show you everything, show you the actual, the different shows. I will point out one thing before we get back to the interior and head back. This car specifically has something called a torque vectoring system, which what that means is when you're going around corners, what it will actually do is on the inside wheels, it will brake them and give more power to the outside wheels for you to be able to go around a corner more smoothly. Very cool system. Again, we didn't get it fully tested out, but something very cool. And I'll get on it here as we get up a little bit. And we were at about 60 miles an hour right there. So this car, amazing throttle response overall, just incredible. If you add a little bit of a gas pedal to it, you'll get the response. And we normally don't do this, but Dad, what were your impressions of driving this car?
This car just flat hauls. I don't know how else to say it. This is one of the nicest, fastest, smoothest put together cars I've ever driven. This car just works phenomenally. Jaguar, as Richard said, hats off to you. You did a fantastic job. And yeah, I really thoroughly enjoyed it. It's been great.
Awesome. Well, with that, we'll head back to the interior, do the interior, and get out of here. Thanks. All right, Drive Radio fans, we're back from our driving portion. Sorry that we weren't able to give you a full preview with the roads being a little wet. The tires on this car get loose very fast. But we'll get into the interior here real quick. I will point this out. If you can see, it kind of has a some people are like, or asking actually, why does it have these little creases here? Well, this is actually the flap that comes up, which is nice because it gives this car a nice clean look. And when you get up going over 70 miles an hour to increase the downforces on the car, that flap automatically comes up. Very nice feature. But we'll get into the trunk space and show you this. We don't have any golf clubs to show you, but something I will point out here. If you lift this portion of it up, and let me see if I can get it up, there's actually under storage. I know it's hard to see, but that's kind of some storage where you can put some shoes, maybe a backpack, some different things, which is a kind of a very nice feature for this car. And some of you are thinking, man, that's kind of a chintzy little thing. Well, this car is not meant to hold a lot of cargo in it. You can, there's all sorts of things. You can actually take the privacy off to where you can fit some larger cargo in here. You can fit one bag of golf clubs in here. So some people are thinking, can I get my golf clubs? Yes, you can. And there's also is an option for a automatic trunk down. So nice little feature. But as we get into the front here, I will open the front door for the passenger and I'll join you here on the front side. Okay, and as we get into the front, we kind of went through a lot of that on the driving portion, but overall, very finely put together car. The nice flat bottom steering wheel, which is an option. There's another steering wheel you can purchase. It does have a grip handle, and let me tell you, if you get going around corners, which we weren't able to do a lot of, you would use this for sure. This car sticks to the road extremely well, performs very well. Everything on this car is very well put together. Just everything is finely done. The stitching's very nice. You have a nice glove box compartment here. Right here real quick, I will fire the car up here in just a second. This actually is the center stack where your main AC vents are and heating vents are, and it actually pops up out of the car as you fire it up. So we'll get it fired up and you can hear that exhaust as you kind of heard in the driving portion. And I will have to activate it to push it to turn on, and this stack will actually raise up as the car kind of gets warmed up. Okay, so as it kind of raises up, we have to change it from being on the heat to on your face. Push that, and then as you can see here in 1 second, as it raises up, it's a very subtle feature, but something that's very cool. And I'm just a guy, and I think that's an awesome feature. It's kind of like a superhero. You're in a car like this. But, and Dad, if you want to pan over there, nice features on the interior. Your passenger seat does have the memory seating. You can change it. If you notice that little knob right there, that allows you to change your support right along here. And so if you're wanting more relaxed fit, you can do this. But if you're on the track and you want to have a tighter fit around your sides, you can increase that right there. And you notice the nice stitching of the R Coupe badging there. But overall, this car is tremendous. It has the Jaguar, which is the Land Rover type of a system on it for the navigation. So it's very familiar if you've seen some of our other reviews. Overall, car works great. Car works tremendously well. We will point something out here which we don't do very often. If you want to turn your attention to the visor, you could say. There's not much of a mirror there, and actually my fiance and my mom, which is my dad's wife, obviously, they both said the same thing. This little mirror, there's not much there to look at, which in this car, you don't really care, to be honest. You get enough looks going down the road in this car and enough pictures. We actually pulled up to church this weekend and had people wanting to take pictures of the car as they were walking in and out asking features. So this car is amazing. But we'll kind of get into the interior. It has a lot of the similar features that the Land Rover does in terms of the actual gear selector and in terms of the navigation system, so we're not going to get too much into that. I will show you this real quick as we get driving, and I apologize for the wet road conditions. You can actually go to the dynamic mode here, and when you're in dynamic mode, which I'll flip it on here real quick, the car actually goes here to where you can change all of the different aspects of the car. It's a nice feature, and especially if you're on the track a lot, something that you will use quite a bit. You have a stopwatch that you're able to use, G-force meter to actually check your G-forces, which it works tremendously well, and your gas pedal, so it shows when you're on the gas and when you're on the brake. And it's going to be hard for us to show you all that, but we just want to show that. And I would say, if you are in the market for this car, get out and drive it, and it's hard for us to describe exactly how this car works in terms of how great it is, how awesome it looks, how awesome it works, how well it works, and just overall the entire car is awesome. So with that, we'll kind of get driving here, and I will point this out, which we'll show you in the interior portion kind of when we get back, what it sounds like from the outside. This is the exhaust mode we were talking about here, where you can see the lights on right now, and I'll actually rev it up and you can hear the sound right now. So that is with the flaps open. So if you really want to hear this car going down the road and hear it yourself, you will. But if you're just in the mood for a cruise, hit that button right there. You can actually hear, it's hard for you to hear, you can actually hear the flaps turning. Okay, real quick everyone, we're gonna actually have you go around to the back, listen to the exhaust. I'm gonna kind of do the exhaust without it and then with it.
So that's with the flaps closed. Now he's gonna open them up. Definitely hear the tone change when he opens the flap. Very cool, Richard.
It very is. I mean, this car, we keep saying it, but this car is awesome. I really have no other way to saying it, but Jaguar, touche. You did an amazing job. This is an amazing automobile. It really is great. But tune into our other car reviews. You're on our page right now, our YouTube page, Drive Radio, no spaces. Check out our other reviews. Leave comments, leave feedback. We always like to hear from you at what we can do better, what we're doing good at right now. Also, check us out every Saturday, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. here in the Denver market, AM 560 The Source. If you're not in the Denver market, head to the TuneIn app. You can download it. Actually, you can go to tunein.com, 560 The Source here in the Denver market. We have a lot of different topics that we talk about, a lot of different cars. So tune into that, call in if you'd like. But with that being said, the 2015 Jaguar F-Type R Coupe, amazing car. Richard Rush, John Rush, Drive Radio, thanks for joining us.